What's going on? Instagram Live, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the places that I will post this video. This is Dr. Lee coming to you live from sunny San Diego. And today I want to talk about a few things, but I want to first talk about effectiveness and getting a lot of things done. So, one of the things that I get asked a lot is, how do I get so many things done? How do I have time to do all the things that I do? How is that even possible? And I want to talk about that for a second. Because it's not as pretty as you would think. It's actually it's quite pragmatic, practical, and it's stringent or slightly rigid, slightly disciplined approach to this. Okay, so for me, I intend to be effective with my life. So I want to be effective, meaning I want to be prolific as well. So effective, what I mean by effective is I want to cause effects in life. I want to get things done. I want to produce. I want to be productive. But it's not just productive just for being productive. It's productive in the area where I want to add value to the world. Okay? So, my intention is to be effective with my time, be productive with my time, and be prolific in what I'm able to create. And that, being prolific could be, a simple example could be content, could be prolific in words, it could be prolific in generating income for myself, but I want to be prolific. And I do a lot of things. I practice medicine full time. I have a speaking business. I write books. I have online courses that I create. I create content online, YouTube to Facebook I do virtual speaking events. I do mentoring. I'm a husband, father to 5 kids. I want to be effective with my life. And so as a result, I have a lot of roles that I play. And I want to make sure that I am being effective in all of my roles that I play. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So a lot of people seem, fairly impressed with some of the things I've been able to do and the amount of things I've been able to do. And so I'm gonna talk today about how I'm able to do that. But it's not pretty and it's not fancy. And it begins with time management or time mastery. It begins with me being intentional with all of the moments of my day. As soon as I wake up, it's, what am I intending to do with this time? What is going to be my intention for this next hour? What is going to be my intention for the next day or the next week? So it starts with intention. And so I want to be effective, so I have to have in my mind, it's a have to, I must be intentional with all of my time. So what does that look like from a practical standpoint? From a practical standpoint, that looks like everything that I do is in my schedule. Everything that I do. So a lot of people, you might think it's rigid. You might think that that's over the top, too disciplined. But, and let me break it down for you. So I come from an Air Force background. Okay, so in aviation, we have what we call, time hacks. These are every moment, every minute in a flight is calculated. This is the world that I come from. So I served as a flight surgeon in the United States Air Force. So I came from a world where time management was extremely important. You send a jet up in the air. It's supposed to take off at a time. It's supposed to land at a time. It's supposed to be at this point at a specific time. It's supposed to be at the next point at a specific time. Every moment of that flight is calculated. It's the same thing in aerospace when you're sending a spaceship to the moon. Everything is calculated. So I come from that world. And so I have the same sort of approach when it comes to time management in my life. So everything is scheduled. So I'm talking about what time I go to bed, what time I wake up, what I'm going to do with the first hour when I wake up, what am I going to do with the second hour when I wake up, how am I going to break up all of my tasks. So I tell people, when you got a lot of stuff that you want to get done, and people say this a lot, if you want something to get done, ask a busy person to do it. Because a busy person, a person that is busy, has figured out how to be effective with their time. They have figured out how to get a lot of things done. And so they are really effective at getting things done. And so for me, being effective at getting things done is having a crazy schedule. And I say crazy because I want people to understand that, you know, you might think it's a little extreme to schedule everything that you do, but that's what I do. Okay. Now, first question I get is, oh, do you have any downtime? Do you sleep? Yes, I do. I schedule that too. Downtime is intentional. I have an intention in downtime. Rest, relax, recovery. There's an intention in downtime. There's an intention in sleep. Restore, restoration. There's an intention in that. So if I want to be effective in my life, I have to do what's best for my body, the vehicle, to produce the type of energy that I produce. And so for me, I have to have my sleep. And I understand that. So my schedule is filled with sleep every single day. I have scheduled out when I'm going to sleep and recover, right? Because I put a lot of energy out into the world. And so for me to recover at a quick enough rate so that I can have the same energy the next day, I need to have my sleep. So I put that in my schedule. So now, if I have a big goal, something that I'm trying to do, say I'm trying to write a book, I got something I'm trying to do, say I'm trying to film a new course, say I'm trying to bring a new product out, then, you know, I break down how much time each task is going to take me, right? So I break down that big goal into smaller chunks, and I break that smaller chunks into daily tasks. This is how I make momentum. This is how I ensure as time passes, I get things done. This is how I ensure it. So I won't have a moment in my life where 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 months go by and I haven't gotten anything done. How that happens in your life is when you don't have intention for every single day. That's how that happens. That's how you can wake up and say, oh my gosh, it's been 6 months. I'm in the same place. How are you in the same place? Because you didn't have intention every single day. Now, on a practical standpoint, people say, oh, you know, this came up and it threw me off track. Okay. Yes. That is when you do not have a proper environment for you to be effective during the times you're supposed to be effective. So what do I mean by that? All right. Easiest example, medical school. When I was in medical school, when I was studying, when I had blocks of studying, when it was time for me to study, the phone was off and in my bag. Okay, so we have this constant bombardment in our life with social media, all these notifications, this person liked this person comment on this. I wouldn't have made it through medical school if my phone was live on the desk while I'm trying to study. I wouldn't have made it through because I would have been looking at my phone the whole time. You know, this person pinged me. Oh, they like this. They did this. This person's going live. Okay. So you have to set up an environment so that you are effective. You have to protect your production time. You got to protect that time. So what's that look like? That looks like, don't call me. That looks like my phone is off. It looks like I'm unreachable because I'm getting things done right now. So I have to set up an environment where I can get things done, because if I allow constant bombarding, if I allow somebody else's emergency to now be my problem, if I allow somebody else's lack of planning or preparation to now throw me off, then I'm at the mercy of any sort of emergency of anybody around me. Now, I get all these questions. Oh, but you're married, and what if something happens? Okay, listen. I have a wife. All right. She has a forever access line to me, anytime, any place. Right. But my wife supports my work. So if she understands, we're a team, right? So she is supportive of my work. So if we've talked about what's going on, okay, she's at the gym during this time, and I've got the kids or whatever, however we work it out, then I'm protecting her time. That's the time that she's going to fulfill and rejuvenate herself. I'm not messing with that time. No. She's put it in there. It's happening. Right? And so, if I'm writing or if I'm, doing a podcast or shooting something, she protects me. So it's like, no, Clarence is doing this. Clarence is doing that. Right? So you have to work and set up an environment where you can be productive, and it has to be intentional. So, my first challenge, and I tell people when I work with my coaching clients, I have them do what's called a 72-hour hack, where you look at everything you do for 72 hours for every hour. What do you do? And this was one of the most powerful exercises I did for myself when I was beginning to become more effective in life. It's the first thing. It's one of the first things I did. And then I realized how much time I was spending on the internets, doing nothing on the internets, not being effective. At the time I was looking for music and searching for stuff, wasting my time. So I think that if you intend to be effective in your life, you have to protect your productivity time. And you have to surround yourself with people that want to support what you are trying to do. They have to understand that to be in your life is about support. It's about adding. It's not about subtracting. Okay? And so if they're in your life, they need to be adding, they need to be supportive of you. And this is another reason why I encourage you to share your goals with everybody that's around you, so everybody can be on the same page and support you. Now, this is rigid. This is rigid, and a lot of people don't like it. And it's one of the biggest things that I have to work with people with. It's very difficult. But it's beauty on the other side. It's beauty on the other side. It's productivity on the other side. It's production on the other side. It's beautiful. It's beautiful on the other side when you have that sort of work ethic and when you have that sort of time management and you have been intentional with your time. Everybody has been given this life for a reason. You're on this earth for a reason. Be intentional with your moments. And all I'm saying is be intentional with your schedule. Schedule out what you're going to do with your life. How you're going to use your life. Schedule that out. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with it. All right, guys. So I hope this blessed you. I hope that you have gained something from this talk today. I hope that I've given you something that's going to get you to the next level. So I hope I've added value. But until next time, guys, God bless, Godspeed. Keep pressing. Later.